Welcome to Northwest Football. I'm the head coach, Josh Robinson. We're here to talk about our last Friday night's game at Central of Carroll. Long trip. Always worry about getting off the bus and being ready to play, and that was not the case as we came out really on fire and played really well. They have a wide receiver who ended up having a great night, but in the first half we really shut down. The young man's committed to South Carolina and is a higher ranked prospect for them. He's a good player. We really held him into check, minus one play. The running back has a Georgia offer as a freshman. One of the better looking young men at running back that we've played against in a long time. And their quarterback's returning starter. They're large up front. They had all these things, and we come out kind of on fire. I thought our offensive line played really well. I thought our running backs played well. I thought Owen played well. The defense, like everything was clicking in the first half, and we go up 17-6, and then we come out and they hit the long play to start the second half, and you could almost sense the tide starting to shift, and then we almost shift them back, and we commit to a couple of turnovers, and it just ended up not being a great night after a wonderful start. But overall on the night, we had some good offensive stats. Owen ended up 17 for 33 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. A solid night by Owen. Played really hard, took a lot of hits, carried the ball a lot, and still had an effective night throwing the ball all over the yard. Dominic Johnson for us ran really hard. I had 4 carries for 30 yards, really up the gut, really cramming it at them, which is what we wanted to do and churning the clock. Owen had 14 carries for 26 yards. They really focused in on him, and we really wanted to try to get him loose, and it always seemed like we were one step, a half a block from getting to where we want to. Tony Bernecki, a sophomore for us, did a really good job. Had 5 carries for 16 yards, and Cameron Collins came in with 3 carries for 11 yards as well. So overall, we rushed the ball better than we had, but the majority of those yards came in the first 2.5 quarters, and then once we fell behind by them hitting a couple of big plays to our receivers or to their receiver after the long touchdown run, it just became much more difficult. On the night, receiving, Braxton Floyd had 5 catches for 80 yards. Always does a good job for us, works. And, I don't think he dropped the ball. He scored a touchdown for us early, a long play. Really exciting, I believe, 45-yarder for us. Hudson Gray had 5 catches for 54 yards. They were giving him a lot of attention, double coverage, using number 4 to get over top of him and try to limit the big play, but Hudson still came up with 5 catches on the night. Austin Cooley, who's just playing outstanding for us, playing through an injury right now, came in with 3 catches for 24 yards. Kind of has to sit out a couple of days during the week to rehab and get ready, and then he comes back out there just displaying great toughness. Ken Douglas also had a catch for 6 yards for us, and then Jax Brooker had a big reception for a touchdown as well on the night, right at the end of the half to put us up 17-6. So overall, some decent offensive stats, but at the same time, we kind of remained to lack the consistency that we needed to maintain scoring throughout the game, and ended up going scoreless in the second half. Nonetheless, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Here they are. They elected to defer to the second half, and they kick off to us, and here Braxton Floyd gets the ball. Really needs to hit it a little faster than that, but ends up wiggling through and getting the ball up to the 25-yard line. We've got to go 75 yards, third down, big pass completion to Hudson, catching the ball in front of their corner, and we move over to the other side of the field. And just a really big play here by Braxton as he reels off a 45-yard run after the catch, and really good throw by Hudson and good protection by our offensive line. Missing a few starters on the night. Our guys, were sick. We're dealing with the flu. There's a lot of other people in the area. We kick it deep. Grant's played so much better on field goals and everything late in the year. Been really proud of him as he added the extra point there. Here's Hudson and Caden Ramsey getting in on tackle on the young man that's so talented for them. Here they are at running back, and again, they this young man led the state in 4A for a long time in rushing yards and still in the top 5, and we did an outstanding job the majority of the time limiting him. Here's a very good return after they scored by Braxton Floyd as he gets up to the 40-yard line. Great job by him. Here's Hudson Gray on the jet sweep as he works around the outside. Some pretty good blocking. He ends up getting up inside the 40-yard line. Here's Owen Brooker on the carry as he picks up some tough yards, and the official takes a tumble there. completion to Jace Talley. I believe we didn't mention his name earlier, but he had a couple of catches. We ended up getting down close, and we decided to kick the field goal and go up 10-6 at the time, as we feel like we're playing really good on defense, and they're trying to get it to their explosive playmaker here. And Jax has a good stop after Connor sets the edge. Good tackle by Ike Ralston as he comes off the edge there. Here they're trying to run a quarterback sweep. Been a great play for them this year, and Connor Cummings and Jax Brooker do an outstanding job of tackling there and getting a stop. There's a great break by Reese Coward, I believe, who played maybe his best game ever for us. We apply some pressure and they throw the ball incomplete. As we make them punt, as the half starts to draw to the midway point, they get off a decent punt, takes a sideways roll instead of a forward roll, which is good for us. We come back on offense, and Owen drops back to pass and releases one out here, I believe, to Hudson for a first down as we get up near the 35-yard line. Second down here, we drop back and pass. Really good catch by, I believe that's Austin Cooley, getting up and picking up a first down for us. We end up having to punt on the play. Another really good play by Ike Ralston as he gets a stop, and we're towards the latter part of the half, and they're trying to make some things happen. We apply some pressure, and Connor comes from the backside with Caden Ramsey, and we end up getting a sack, and they decide to go for it for fourth down. Connor sets the edge, and just a great stop by Jax Brooker. Really emotional play by him and our guys, and really gets our guys excited on the night. Good carry by Dominic Johnson, who did an outstanding job for us overall on the night and the season. And we come here, and they're throwing the ball in the flats to King Kenny, picks up 6 yards. As Hudson was the intended target, but kind of trips as a guy falls there, run the buck sweep on the goal line, and Tony Bernecki pushes forward and I believe gets down right to the goal line, and then we have a little delay play to our H-back, and Jax Brooker, he ends up catching it for the touchdown for us to go up right before the half. 17-6 as Jax Brooker has a snap, Braxton Floyd on the hold, and Grant Holder with the extra point. We kick off here and do a good job Grant does a good job of putting it where we want, over number 4's head in front of number 3, and they try to run a play here right before the half. Connor ends up getting a big tackle, and they decide to let the clock run out at that point as we go in at halftime with the Bruins 17 and the Central Line 6. At this time, let's take a break. Welcome back to the Bruin Football Show. Let's talk a little bit about defense. I thought we played exceptional. They have 2 surefire Division I guys out on the field that are playmakers for them, running back and a wide receiver, and then, of course, good high school football players and a good quarterback around them who I bet will also play college football. But we really were in tune with the game plan and what we were doing, and limited them, confused them a little bit, made them burn some timeouts, make some calls that didn't work as well, but the second half, the long run, kind of alters things because you know how explosive that kid is. We've held him in check. Now they're feeling better about running the ball and mixing the run with the pass. And then number 4 just made some outstanding plays for them as well. On the night for the defensive line, Miles Mays had 2 tackles and 7 quarterback pressures. He was right on top of the quarterback all night long. He just never could get that sack, but out of his 7 pressures, I believe 4 resulted in incomplete passes. So really good night by Miles. Bryce Bryant had 3 tackles and a tackle for a loss. Coming back over, again, what we thought was going to be season-ending finger surgery, has fought through and has played with it bothering him and producing very well for us. Avery O'Neal, nursing an injury, ended up with 2 tackles on the night in a more limited role than what he had been. Gian Gomez, we played over there on defense a little more because of Avery's injuries. He ended up with 2 tackles on the night for us. Jake Billings and Jackson Holt and Connor Thomas always all combined for 4 tackles and contributed to us positively. I thought our linebackers played really well. The long run, I think that was the only play where all 4 of them didn't do exactly what they were supposed to do. But overall, it was the highest grades we'd had for our linebackers across the entire year. Ike Ralston had an unbelievable night with 13 tackles, 2 caused fumbles, 3 tackles for a loss, and a sack. Just really physical. Really, if you look on film, really only had 2 bad plays the entire night. Played outstanding. That's a pretty good ratio for a young man, and was really all over the field doing everything he could to help us win. Connor Cummins turned in another typical, really intelligent, physical night, ending up with 7 tackles, a tackle for a loss, and also picked up a sack on the night. Jax Brooker came in with another double-digit tackling exhibition with 10 tackles, just in on everything, made a big stop when they went for it on 4th down inside their 30, and we were able to score, and he scored the touchdown after that. Caden Ramsey also continues to develop, just getting better and better. We're encouraged about where he's made it this year, and with a game left to play, ended up with 9 tackles as well. At defensive back, Hudson Gray had 2 tackles for us, having to go cover number 4 the majority of the night, although we did have some other guys that mixed in. Reese Cowart had 5 tackles on the night, played a really physical game. He's sick right now. We certainly hope he gets to play this coming Friday, but it was just very effective Friday night for us. Braxton Floyd had 2 tackles, playing a good role, had a good stop on a jet sweep against a big individual. And then Raven Foster kind of playing his typical game where he's supposed to be. Again, he's going to work on tackling and get better, but still came in with a couple of tackles on the night. At this time, let's take a look at the second half highlights. Here we go, starting the second half out, and they really wanted to try to get on the perimeter versus us, and good tackle by Reese Cowart coming down for us. Got to get a little wider, a little faster at linebacker. Ike does a good job of setting the edge. Connor coming so close to getting underneath that pass and getting hands on it, but they end up completing it, and we get a tackle. Throwing the ball downfield, fairly good coverage, a little bit behind us there, but fairly good coverage by our guys. There's Ike Ralston, really being physical with a guy that probably outweighs him by 30 pounds, coming off and making the tackle against one of their better football players. Here they are running the quarterback sweep again, and Connor makes it bounce out wide and keeps it extending until he ends up allowing Reese Cowart to make a tackle. There's Ike Ralston with a tackle. I believe they had scored at this point, and we come back and went 3 and out and punted the ball. And here's our defense. There's a good move by Miles, flushing him from the pocket as Ike comes from the backside and causes a fumble, and big play for Northwest. We get it back. We end up, I believe, throwing an interception there, I want to say. They get the ball down at the goal line, and we end up getting a big stop. Here's the counter that hit us earlier that they got a big play out of, and we ended up stopping it. Here's Ike Ralston coming off the edge. There's a couple of scores mixed in there by Central to take the lead, so our defense is kind of trying to fight now to get our offense the ball back and get that stop that we need. Here they are with another play that they're averaging a ton of yards rushing on, and our guys are fighting, but doing a good job being when they're supposed to. And you can see the explosion out of their running back. Here, this is right after a turnover, and Ike ends up causing a fumble, and unfortunately, right as we've got 2 guys reaching for it, they come up with it, and they're running the draw, and we get a big stop up the middle as the quarterback comes. They're trying to play it safe at this point and end up punting the ball away to us. Good job by our guys. We need to block a little more there. They don't get a great punt off, and it ends up taking just a little bit of a central roll. After that interception, the defense made their offense go backwards about 25 yards. Good throw. We had changed that into trying to make a hole shot as Braxton ends up catching it. Good ball by Owen. Good reception here by Hudson down the sideline. Getting up to the 35-yard line. We're still fighting. Again, things didn't turn out how we want to, but it's a testament to our coaches and our kids how hard they continue to play every moment of every game this year. And again, I expect that this Friday as Jace Talley comes back with a big catch, and right after that we threw an interception, we get a stop, and they're trying to run out the clock, and another good tackle by Reese Cowart coming downhill and getting a stop. They picked up a first down on a fairly decent pass play, which had kind of been the theme. And ultimately, the final score ends up being Central Lions 35 and Northwest 17. At this time, let's take a break. Welcome back to the Bruin Football Show. Unfortunately, for the first time in 8 years, we are not going to make postseason play. We encourage you all to come out and support our guys as we take on Cedartown, really talented football team, one of the most explosive and best teams in the entire state. So we'll have our work cut out for us, but we have a great group of seniors that we all love. We definitely hate that things kind of fail. Unfortunate in many different games that have led to us missing the playoffs. It's certainly not what those seniors wanted, and it's not what the coaching staff wanted, nor what I. We've got to go back to work in the off season and going forward next year, but we can't look forward to that because it's here and now. We have one more game to honor these great seniors that have accomplished a ton of things with a handful of them starting for over a multiple year time. So we want to go out on a right note, playing as hard as we can and trying to get a victory against a very good football team. So come out and support these Bruins this Friday versus Cedartown. Until next week, I'm Josh Robinson.